Physical AI is all the rage these days, but to make it happen, you need to do computing on the edge. So, Yaniv, could you tell us a little bit about how Halo is addressing physical AI?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So, what we focus on is how to scale physical AI, how to scale robotics. And to do that, you really need AI processing in small battery operated devices. And you need that AI to be able to sense its environment, to think and respond, as well as to act in real time.
So, what type of platforms does Halo have that can do this type of computing on the edge? And what are the kinds of applications they can be used for?
So we have AI accelerators. AI accelerators can be used for a variety of AI functions alongside other systems or as an addition to other systems. They are very good at industrial applications, IoT. Essentially, every machine that moves and needs a perception and processing of additional AI workloads. And then we have processors, our SoCs, we call them vision processors, and they excel in one chip solution for visual perception. And they are very strong in translating visual into insights in real time, which is very helpful for a variety of robotics applications.
So, what size models can these uh, incorporate, and what type of processing can they do in real time? In other words, are we going to just recognize a particular item, or can you detect gestures or things of that nature?
Yeah, good point. So maybe talking about the categories I mentioned before, the sense, the think, and the act. When
Okay.
it comes to sensing, which is the bulk of the world today, these platforms are very, very capable. They're able to both detect objects, segment their environment, understand the semantics of the environment around them, both indoor and outdoor. And to that extent, they're very powerful, can run models from millions of parameters to billions of parameters. On the think part, typically, here we talk about language models, reasoning models. These are larger in the billions. And here we're talking about the category of the smaller LLMs or smaller reasoning models, which we typically run at the edge because we are confined in the area, in the size, and in the power. And when it comes to action, we're able to trigger a variety of actions on these devices, and the models there are getting larger as we speak, but they are not specifically large today.
Now you have the Halo 8, the 10, and the 15. Where do each one of these fit, and are they targeting specific aspects of AI acceleration?
So Halo 8 and Halo 10 are AI accelerators. Halo 8 is the first generation, and Halo 10 is the second generation, the latest. And generally speaking, Halo 8 really focuses on the sense part, focuses on the perception, while Halo 10 can also be leveraged for the thinking part, as mentioned, for reasoning models and larger language models. Halo 15 is our processor, so not as an accelerator, as an addition to a system, but stands on its own as a one-stop shop
Hmm.
and can do both. It can do the sense and the think and the act on one platform, which makes it very cost effective for many applications. We are, as we progress over time, and we see how models converge, and maybe in the future we'll be able to do sense, think, and act in one single large model.
Hmm.
Then we have plans to support that as well.
Now, if developers want to get started, obviously they can design these chips into their system, but do you have development platforms, for example?
Absolutely. So we have our own development platform, developer kits, and we have an open model zoo and a developer zone. And basically, anyone from school aged children to professionals can use our documentation and our software. By the way, it's free of charge, and we encourage it. And they can either get development kits from us, or they can get through our partners. One partner I'll mention in this context is Raspberry Pi, and you can
Hmm.
actually get a Raspberry Pi plus Halo off the shelf. It's fairly easy to do. It has a large community and a large install base of open source code that you can do a lot with. And this is even before we talk about the capability to use bots online like Claude and Gemini to create code on Hailo, and then you can actually, for non-coders, you can actually get a full AI application very quickly.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure a number of people are going to want to get started soon. Thank you for filling us in on what Hailo can provide for physical AI development.